What a crowd! As befits the changing of dawn servants.
It's starting.
The Dawn Servant!
Look! He's here!
The head of reason is resting again. Thought he'd grace us for this occasion at least. People of Tuliolal, you honor us with your presence. For on this auspicious day, we witness the dusking of one era and the dawning of the next. The succession of Dawn servants. But I've talked for long enough. Allow me to present the claimant, whose determination, wisdom, and compassion guided them to triumph and the City of Gold. My daughter, Wook Lamont. Huzzah! Huzzah!
Long live the Dawn Servant! Long live Tuliolal!
Growing up in this city, I used to think I knew all there was to know about Tuliolal. But my journey showed me how much I had yet to learn about the cultures, histories, and aspirations of this nation. Through the time-honored Ihana, the Hanuhanu taught me how they nourish and cultivate both the land and their bonds with visitors. And with their alpacas and tradecraft, the Pelupelu showed me the depths of their patience and fortitude, to know when to push through and when not to push your luck. From the Moblins and their artisans, I gained insight into the power of creativity, that it is when we are filled with passion and bolstered by the support of others that we produce our best works. I was moved by the history and hopes of the Yokhui, who believe that death isn't the end, that we live on so long as we're remembered. I felt joy and harmony in Yaktel when I tasted Shebruk Bibil, the dish that marked the beginning of peace between the Shebral and Mamouja after centuries of warfare. And I felt sorrow in Mamuk when I met with those who placed their faith in the promise of blessed siblings, and for this were burdened with great suffering. Through the understanding we forged, I'm hopeful that they will find what they seek through friendship and community, for we are all Turali.
Understanding with Mamuk? What sorcery did she use on them?
All of which is to say that, As I've come to know our nation, I've seen the ways in which we thrive and the ways in which we still struggle. Some in Kozamauka must resort to banditry to survive. A faction of Yokhui still cling to dreams of conquest. Not everyone lives in peace and plenty. And there's still so much of Tulihyolol I don't know. Places I haven't seen, and people I haven't met. That's why I hope to keep learning about and from you, that we might build a nation where everyone knows happiness. Because if there's one thing my journey has taught me, it's that your happiness is my happiness! I say mine, but the Dawn Servant doesn't need to be a single person, does it?
Oh dear. What is she doing?
Yeah. My father led Tulihyolol to prosperity by the resolve and reason of his 2 heads. But my 1 head can only get us so far. To further change our nation for the better, I'll need someone else. Someone with the knowledge and insight that I lack. So what do you say? Be Dawn Servant with me, Kona?
Ramachi, are you certain?
Absolutely. You take reason, and I take resolve. Together, we make a full Dawn Servant.
You'll have no objections from me, of course. But mine is not the approval you need.
During my time abroad, I experienced the benefits of foreign technologies, some of which I introduced to our nation. Dirigibles now soar the sky in the south, while locomotives traverse the land in the north. I was convinced that by imitating foreign powers, we could assert our strength and thereby deter invasion. Yet despite my intentions, I failed to understand what I was too eager to cast aside, and the very people I wish to protect. My own journey has taught me that culture isn't a hindrance to progress, but a shared value that binds us, connecting lives and generations. With your blessing, I vow to help Tulihyolol prosper in a way that honors the hopes and heritage of all her peoples. My esteemed predecessor would accept nothing less. For ultimately, I harbor the same wish as my sister. To give you cause to smile. That is my heartfelt desire.
Glad this didn't go to waste. This is the Lay of Legacy, the part of the Tuliyola saga where you and I become the next Dawn servant.
Good heavens! Don't tell me this is what kept you so busy ahead of the ceremony.
Just so you know, I didn't decide this on a whim. After reflecting on all we've been through, I realized it was the only answer.
With this, both my brother and I have worthy successors. He would have been proud. Of course you knew. It's been 3 years since my brother left us.
It cannot be. The head of reason is no longer with us.
Oh, tragic tidings.
I didn't want to believe it.
I'm sorry I never told you. We wanted the people to rest easy until our successor could be chosen. Planning the right was my brother's final duty. He was determined for it to serve the nation's best interests, and labored nigh without cease. And then he died, forcing me to do the actual work. A sneaky bastard. But he did well. I have to give him that. The outcome speaks for itself.
Though not quite to the original script, your new Dawn servant rises. May they shine resplendent, and their rule bring light ever greater to Tuliyola.
Change is in the air, and it's all because of our little firebrand. Every Ilmer father's daughter, that one. I'll be watching where you steer this nation, lass. With what time I've got left.
Seen everyone you wanted to see?
I have. Sorry for keeping you all. Now, there's just one last matter. What Kona spoke to you about. I'm sure he made it abundantly clear, but I'm completely serious. I want you to stay in Tulishola with me. I'm not forcing you, of course. But should you wish it, you'll always have a place here. Ah, that's right. This is for you. A permit granting passage to Tural, which, as I recall, you've yet to see. An adventurer like you could hardly resist, no? I can't believe our journey is over already. You accepted me as a comrade and stood with me to the end. You have my eternal gratitude. Thank you. Well, I had better get going. I need to start learning all my official Dawn servant duties. I'll be sure to share what my old man says about the Golden City too, once he tells me. Till then, feel free to pass the time as you like.
For now, I will remain in Tural. There's someone I'd like to see before returning to Sharlayan.
What about the rest of you?
Alize and I also intend to remain a while longer. As educational as this experience has been thus far, we feel there are even more lessons to be had for Garlemald. By hearing about the peace your father facilitated, and then seeing you reforge relations with Mamuk, we were reminded of a profound truth. That is, acceptance begins with understanding.
And, like you demonstrated throughout the rite, there are unexpected yet effective ways for two sides to understand each other. The question is how to encourage it, and by seeing more of this nation born of unity, we hope to find some hints.
Personally, I can hardly wait to learn more about the City of Gold. So, if I may, I'd like to stay in Tulishola as well.
By all means, your rooms are at your disposal for as long as you need them.
And what of you? Thinking of touring Tural, perhaps?
Then perhaps we could travel together? The person I intend to meet is my mentor, so I'll be visiting my hometown in Tural. If you have no particular destination in mind, I'd be happy to guide you en route.
Then it's farewell for now. Take care, all of you.
When you're ready, come and meet me at the Tural Skygate.
We're friends to the end, you hear me? Friends to the end!
Shall we then? On the far side of that great bridge unfolded the wilds of Shaloni, where the sun guides in the Shatona town. A harsh guide, to be sure, with its blazing rays scorching the land and hardening its inhabitants. But sweeping change had come to the arid expanse when, beneath its red crust, vast deposits of ceruleum were discovered. Embracing this opportunity, Vau Kona supporters hurtle on, driven by dreams of a future illuminated by blue flame. It is here that our journey continues, our path taking us along winding roads of steel. Each length of track a declaration of hope and ambition. My home, Yasulani, lies past Shaloni. It will be a long journey, but the railroad should make it easier. As for the way to the train station, let's ride these fellows, shall we? Well, well. It's become a proper town.
Hey! Now hold on a minute.
Some sort of trouble.
I'm talking to you, you old bastard.
Give me strength. For the last time, the investigation is closed. There's no refuting the evidence.
I don't give a shit about your evidence, you lying scum. You release my friends, or I'll make you wish you had.
Let me remind you who the scum is here. Your friends, who had the temerity to point their firearms at me, the Deputy Chief of the Dust Watch. And after taking them into custody, what should we discover but incontrovertible proof that they had committed larceny? They will not be released until they've paid for their crimes.
I'd heard a peacekeeping force had been formed to deal with growing lawlessness. Seems the situation is bad indeed.
Still can't get up a fuss, eh? Sounds like poor Zekua needs his bottle.
Sure he wouldn't prefer his mama's teat? Treat me like a child, will you? My friends haven't done anything wrong, damn it! They've been framed!
Oh, stubborn little runt. Listen here, Zekua. If you want to be treated like an adult, then you'd best comport yourself like one. That means respecting the rule of law. Order may be precarious here in Shaloni, but it can be had if each man does the right thing. And for those that don't, well, they have to answer to the Dustwatch. Now run along and think before you cast aspersions next time. Lest you hurt my feelings.
Fine! If that's how it's gonna be.
I wouldn't if I were you.
Is that?
There's a time to fight and a time to withdraw. For you, that's now.
What?
Hey! What are you doing, Zekawa? You better not be stirring up trouble.
Wahute! You sack of Ronek shit! This ain't over! You hear me?
You want to tell me what that was about?
Nothing that need concern you, sir. Zekawa is simply struggling to come to terms with the low character of his friends. But for good measure, I'll have the men keep an eye on him.
Yes, you do that.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I'll go make my rounds.
I wasn't expecting to see your faces among the crowd. Talk is rife, there's a new Dawn servant. Take it you found it then. The Golden City.
Aye, the contest is over. And as I needed to return home to Yasulani, I offered to show our friends some of Tural. What brings you north?
Nothing in particular. Just seeing what there is to see. Gulul Jaja compensated me rather generously for our duel. I'll be able to enjoy a comfortable life on the road for the foreseeable future. But for now, I shall be moving on. Oh, by the way, I recommend you try the Sabatender. They may not look it. They're surprisingly delicious.
But we don't serve Sabotender here.
Wahoote! Finally caught up to me, I see.
Well, well, if it isn't our young outlaw. You've taken up stealing, I'm told. Can't say I'm surprised about that, but I am surprised that you'd offer yourself up to be arrested.
Sorry to disappoint, but you're the one who's going to answer for their crimes today.
Hey! That's my jewelry!
And my bag! So you found the stolen goods. That's fine work.
This barrel was at Shishenowetsi Springs, mixed in with others bound for Tuliyollal. The Landsguard would have presumed it part of the regular ceruleum shipments and waved it through. And once it reached its destination, it would have been retrieved, and its contents sold for coin.
The audacity. Do we know who's behind this?
As fortune would have it, I spied the leader of this operation being handed one of the stolen items. A bracelet, which Vau Wuklamat had intended for her nursemaid, Namika.
It was from the Vow of Resolve?
Oh, you've seen it then?
No, no, never. And if I knew who had it, I would have arrested the scoundrel.
What's the meaning of this, Wahoote?
It's a setup, sir. I have the bracelet, yes, but I only 'cause I found it. I swear. They're the real criminals. They concocted this scheme to frame me, so they could get me out of the picture.
If you feel your honor's at stake, there's always the old-fashioned way. The law which folks have used to settle their differences for generations.
You don't mean...
Wahoote, I challenge you to a duel. The winner is right, the loser is wrong. Doesn't get simpler than that.
Yeah, have at it! Let your pistols do the talking! Please, do you honestly believe you can goad me into playing your game?
You refuse then? A baby alpaca's got more fight than you.
All right, boy. But remember, you asked for this. Come on, Zekawa! Give him what for!
Shouldn't we stop him, Chief? Even if it's just rubber bullets, we're in the middle of town.
Be quiet. Just watch.
you little shit!
Looks like you've gotten slow in your old age, Vulture.
You and I are going to have a long talk.
I apologize for dueling in the middle of town. If you want to lock me up, then lock me up. But please, let my friends go. They've done nothing wrong.
You drew your gun within town limits. But Wihute drew first. Far as I'm concerned, you acted in self-defense. You're free to go. As are your friends.
Ha! You're not such a bad guy after all!
Just a man of the wilds, like you. But to think that Wihute had taken control of the Daybreakers, it pains me that it happened right under my nose.
What are you gonna do about his crew? Some of them are still in Tonatenui.
Those who have broken the law will be taken into custody. But those who haven't will be given the chance to resume walking the straight and narrow. What about you, Zakua? What do you intend to do now?
Why, what I've always done. Protect the weak and help the helpless. The old-fashioned way.
Here, this was Vawuk Lamot's gift for someone, wasn't it?
Yes, a person very dear to her.
I suppose this is where we go our separate ways. My thanks again for your help apprehending the Vulture.
I'm so sorry, but we're not sure when the train will be running again.
You've got to be joking. Of all the places to get stuck at on the way.
Please don't tell me you've come to complain too.
We heard that the earthquake had caused disruptions and wanted to ask when operations would resume. But I see that it will be a while yet.
I'm afraid so. Too few hands for too much work. It's time-consuming enough to inspect the tracks after every quake, but this last one we got after the succession ceremony was massive. Made a mess of a whole bunch of railroad ties.
The succession ceremony? We would have been in Tuliolal at the time. If it was as violent as you say, we should have felt it as well.
I have to admit, it was a touch strange, having seen my fair share of tremors. If I had to describe it, it felt more like the rumbling from an explosion.
Is there anything I can do to help?
Seriously? You're offering to help?
What about you, my friend? If you'd rather strike out on your own, I understand.
Though, if you were willing to lend us a hand, too, we'd be truly tremendously grateful. Thank you! Thank you so much! I'm Shenza, by the way. Pleasure to make your acquaintance. If you would please step inside, I can introduce you to everyone.
Sorry for dragging you into this.
There they are. That's them, the 2 volunteers. Walika is our station master, and over there is our top driver, Nitoikwe. And this grizzled mug is Zopia, an engineer who joined around the same time as me.
Much obliged for the help. I'll make it worth your while, I promise.
Something the matter?
Trolleys? They're fine, I suppose, but they're no match for our ceruleum-powered engine.
She's absolutely glorious, let me tell you. If you'd like to bask in her beauty, well, you should visit the depot behind the platform.
Right then. What I'd like you two to do is help us procure timber. We'll be using it to fashion new railroad ties, so it needs to be the strongest stuff we can get. In these parts, that means the trees in the Piata-Yonan Plain. It is Hetsaro territory, though, so we need to get their permission first. Come on, no time to waste.
Glorious grand machine indeed. I hope Namika was able to secure a seat.
Here she comes!
Thanks to you, we managed to resume service much faster than anticipated. You have our gratitude.
There's nothing so enchanting as a ceruleum-powered engine in motion.
Ain't that the truth? Don't think I'll ever tire of watching them chugging along. They make wagons look like toys.
And so long as we can lay the tracks, she can go on and on and on. Before you know it, she'll be crossing the entire continent.
Railroads are a somewhat recent addition to Tural. As it stands, we can only ferry folks as far as Yasolani. And from an operational standpoint, we still have much to learn. There's always some problem or another to deal with. But we'll keep working at it. We'll hone our craft and continue expanding till one day, our trains are running coast to coast. That's the ultimate dream. goodness, I completely lost track of time. By now, I expect the train will be nearing Yasolani. When it returns, we'll see you on your way. So if you've got any preparations to make, you better make them quick.
Not another one! You can't be serious.
Gods have mercy.
What in the flying? What's happening?
Oh, the train! Nitobekwe and the others!
My home lies that way as well.
We're going to investigate. Right now!
What in the world? Are they heading for Tuliolal?